Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B-Funk. Thinking right out here in my lab in the wee hours of the morning, doing what I do for you. I got a nice concept. Again, I'm sitting here conceptualizing, but this one I had a good concept or a good thought about. We talk about the God gene, the worship gene that's in us to make us want to worship something higher than us. I look at it as, how about the self-knowledge gene? Something inside you that wants to know you, wants to know who you are. See where I'm going with this? See, I can put it together for you and make it make sense. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rule to live by. Storyteller, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and too. Might not be true. Right thinkers, again, let's talk about what I call that self-knowledge gene. Your desire to what? Know thyself. It's internal. It's inside you. Let's talk about it. We call it the worship gene. I heard their concept, and okay, but when I start thinking and putting together my stuff, I come up with a concept too. That's what I do for you. That's right. God consciousness is having connection with what? Your higher mind, or I call it the heart mind coherence. I mean, this and this works as one. You see it as two? No, they did become one. That's the concept. And the self knowledge gene makes that possible. Why? Your desire to want to be and connect, that's what drives you from internal. Until you become conscious of that, you ignorant. So you just pretty much doing anything. Again, not knowing. But we have been, not by accident, we have been programmed over the generations. We're not talking years, we're talking on generation. The generational curse of ignorance is still in play today. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So that gene to what? To get over what? Knowing or being ignorant, that's the goal for all my right thinkers. What? Wake up and feel like, or answer the question, who am I for yourself? Know thyself for yourself. And to know thyself, we've programmed for generations to not know thyself. What? Not know that we are God. We run around talking about we God's chosen people. How ignorant is that? Okay, I'm just speaking from a higher perspective now. I know now why nobody tunes in. This is why everybody in with this. So I'm not beat for the views no more. Moving on. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm teaching. I'm instructing. I'm giving the truth. So those who don't get it, ain't my problem. Those who do, I appreciate you. Let's go. We know that what? Oh, excuse me. No. It's if you're conscious. That means you want to know. That means you have a consciousness of what? Something else bit higher than yourself. Somebody other than yourself that's inside you. That's the God compact. That's the self-knowledge gene that wants to know. And that's what you answer to, your inner self. We know, first of all, that we didn't create or make ourselves, but God did conceptually. But he made it so that we can create ourselves from what? Male, female, come together, offspring. That's how life is done. I had no desires to worship a higher consciousness of power, or aka God. I was worshiping myself and that greed, my desire for what? Money, pleasures, and the same stuff that everybody doing to today. I was a victim of circumstance, product of my environment. I saw drug dealers, I saw hustlers. That's what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. Now I know better. I don't project that image, so nobody look at me and say, "I want to be like him. I want to be a hustler." No, no, no. Be wise, man. I want to know thyself. That's the image that I project for my young people today. Yeah, be like me. Be a good man. That's all. Moving on. But I had to do that for myself. Nobody's going to do it for you. That self-knowledge gene, when it kicks in, that's when. But you didn't kick into what? You ass out. Bad situation. You done something that now you got to pay the consequences of that action to get to use what you've been learning. It took me 3.5 years, and I learned a lot. Okay, about myself. That's the difference. And God, we didn't know the power of God. We didn't get conscious of God until what? We get into a situation where I got mine. When I got locked up, oh Lord, now I'm looking for some help, internal help. And he was there, and I can tell you by now, that's where you want to go to. All right. For each one of us, our need to worship a higher power is being conscious. But everybody's not conscious. Again, I wasn't. When you're doing things that's benefiting you, you could care less about church, God, and anything spiritual. Until what? You get into a situation when you need it. I'm trying to avoid that for my young people. When you walk, talk, live with God, you good. I'm not a preacher. I ain't talking go to church. I'm talking about being conscious. Okay, it's two different things. All right, I ain't telling anybody go join the church and become spiritual. No, live right, do right, and become spiritual. Spiritual people just live right. Moving on. I study to obtain knowledge of self, yes, but I also had to put what I studied into effect to prove it is true, that it worked. It ain't just a bunch of words. Somebody says some nice, eloquent words that sound good, and if you don't put it to use, that's all it is, words that somebody else said from their experience. My words are my experiences. So those who listen to my words should be inspired, motivated, and what? To do better. That's my goal. That's the purpose of me doing this. And I study daily, okay, to obtain this knowledge. But more importantly, I live by those spiritual disciplines that I acquire and I give to you to do the same thing. That's it. That's it. Moving on. If you know that if you put good work out, cause and effect. If you're doing good, the results what? Got to be good. He even knows that. Okay, he knew that much. Okay, and you will be what? Rewarded for what? Good deeds. Sneaky, deceitful stuff, don't get blessed. I woke up yesterday, I did that blessed thing. I don't know what. You need to understand, when you live and do right, good things that happen to you. They call them blessings. I do that on a day-to-day basis, so I'll tell you, I'm blessed daily. Why? Because I'm living right. I'm getting what I deserve. Hello? And my man would say, hello? Did you mean you listen? Are you paying attention? Are you home? Lights is on. Anybody home? I worship personally daily. But before I got my enlightenment, I never worshiped my mom and my dad. I took it for granted. Now, talk to moms every day, talk to pops every day. Wouldn't have no other way. Why? I found God. My parents. I did find my dad a long time ago. But now, I got clear understanding now, so I'm good. I worship my mom and my dad now. Okay? Dad in spirit, mom's still here. And no other in my studies, listen, I worship them like no other. And my daily studies teaches me and tells me that's natural. That's the order of things. I would hope my children love me like I love my parents. My goal was to do just that. Love them, make them proud of me, and then have my children respect me, and I'll be proud of them. It's a cycle, okay? If that's not what your cycles are, I go see my grandson. I watch his grandson grow. I'm watching my grandsons grow. That's the natural order of things. I figure, so that's what I'm doing. But again, you have a God male, a goddess female. Hello? Who else could that be? If the man who made you look like, the lady who carried you, nurtured you, you respect, what other God you need? Get the concept? It's all conceptual, theological. But my God and goddess was my parents. Okay, once I figured things out. God himself is in what? The spirit that's in all of us. So you can't get away from God. Okay, we're God's what? Children. Or so y'all said God's chosen people. God don't pick and choose. We do. We humanizing God. God is not man. Man is physical form, but spirit is God. That's what we should understand. That's what knowledge of self. That's that self-knowledge gene kicks in because you start to realize thyself. Know who you are. One with the man who makes all this possible. Some of us can't even fathom that. Oh God, I ain't God. I'm just a human. Ignorant. Moving on. Now, is God my Savior? You save yourself when you what? Believe, trust, and use God to your benefit by what? Living right. That's the best benefit you can get. That's what God recognizes. How you think the blessings come? Blessings come from people doing good deeds, and God loves those things. Your ego, you, yourself, wants to be worshipped. It don't want to worship. Remember, ego edge God out. The ego, your personality, I, me, you think you're God in that aspect, but then your ignorance say, I don't know God. And no, you ain't God. You of God. Okay, that's the difference. And when you wake up and become conscious, but the ego wants to be worshipped. Like what? Your higher self. Why? Because it believes it is the higher self. And it's not. He's the lower. There's somebody above him. That's why they tell you Christians, they demiurge who tell y'all, I'm the only God, have no God other than me. He ain't really God. I get the concept. I understand. But when you personally serving what? Your lower self, your ego self, aka the ego, you're serving the false God. Most Christians, and I tell you, the devil says 98% of y'all serving him and don't even know it. So I get all the concepts. I hear him. I listen. I get it. I just perfect minds. We all got a philosophy. That's what I'm running around. I'm a philosopher. Man, everybody got a philosophy. I ain't got time to be debating, arguing philosophies. I just want to teach minds. And those who want to learn it, that's what it's for. Everybody, I'm not here to debate about who's no more, who got that. Nah, I ain't wasting my time. But when you're serving your lower self or your ignorant self, you go to church, you worship God and Christ and everything, but you ain't living it. You're living your own selfish desires. You still sneaking, creeping, and cheating. So God don't recognize that. And so because you go to church and don't mean a damn thing. That's my point with that. Again, human is ego. God is your higher self. It's okay to know your human side, but you got to recognize your higher side. I love me some me, okay? But I don't worship me as me, my ego self. No, I worship my higher self, my better me, the part I'm projecting now, the guy who wants to do, the guy who practices things that he learned, the guy who wants to help others know themselves. That's the real me, the higher me, doing good things. The other guy was selling you drugs, getting you work for him, making money. Everybody want the money you gain. I'm not doing that. Okay, sorry. The game still go on. They can play the game without me. People who you got to cut out your life, they still gonna be who they're gonna be. You just won't be doing it with them. I got a clear understanding of that, so I'm easy to just move on. I'm Capricorn. We don't get caught up in a whole bunch of nonsense, and I don't worship my ego self. I worship my higher self. That's God. But I know that we are one. So my self-knowledge gene has kicked in and pushed me to the level where I found what I needed to know about myself. Satan, aka y'all call him the devil, the ego, that's you. Okay. It wants to be worshipped. Everybody I know the ego wants everybody, to bow down and acquiesce. Sound familiar? You don't move nothing by yourself. With God, you can do all things. That's the concept. But that's why what? Your ego, it tricks you into what? Believing in yourself. It's all about you. You the man. Oh, they're gonna gaslight you. They gonna yeah. You ain't got no power over nothing. Okay, but a bunch of ignorant people. If you want to manipulate and control people, then those kind of people with ego loves that. Just using people, just to, you can just they like dispensable. Yeah, I'm tired of it. Okay, I take that one. Yeah, I use that until I get tired. Those kind of people. There's a bunch of them. The goal is to avoid them. Not just don't be them, but you got to avoid them too. Oh, y'all don't know about that guy? Slick. Moving on. Talking fast, talking trash, trying to get you out your cash. Who is it? They call him Slick. We know him well. Some of us was him. My higher self will what? Bless my true self, my lower self, for what? Performing good deeds and doing the things I'm supposed to do to make him proud. And what? To earn your blessings in life. Some of us just want monetary things. No, you keep that. What I'm going for is a lot more valuable. You get the concept? Spiritual people. Going to church don't make you spiritual. Living right does. Okay? My higher self always blesses me with what? With what I need. Right there. A blessing ain't always got to be a bunch of money. Money's good, yeah, but that ain't a blessing. Well, I guess if you need it, yeah, depending on how you look at it. But a blessing is really taking care of a need that you have. That's personal. Only God knows that. Why? He knows your heart. He knows what you need. See the concept? My pastor had the best. God knows your heart. I agree 100%. I remember when I first heard that phrase 30, 40 years ago. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, you say so. I get it now. Why? I'm listening, paying attention. I understand. That's all. When your ears are closed to knowledge, you don't hear nothing. When your ears are open to be better, you hear everything. See the difference? They say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Why? Because you're ready to listen now. Anybody can teach you, just ain't ready to listen. So depending on who it is, they've always been there. Moving on conceptually. And you're blessed by your higher self. That's God, okay? And I don't need to worship what? Myself. I worship God with deeds, not ego tripping. It ain't about me. It's less about sacrifice. The more you sacrifice, the better you become a person. Being conscious or awake is being what? Using what? Your self-knowledge gene. That's what the pushes you. That's the desire. It's from within. It ain't from without. Self. Remember, self. Know thyself. Self-knowledge. See where I'm going with that? I try to put them together and make it work for you. But when you are spiritually enlightened, and you only get that from putting in work, learning lessons that the people who are teaching. That's what I do daily for you. That's your worship or your self-knowledge gene at work. Your desire to want. That's the self-knowledge gene right there. That's the inspiration. That's the kicker. Being God conscious is you finally knowing what for yourself that you and God are one. And the things that you do to earn your blessings, God sees on a daily basis. All you got to do is put the work in and it becomes easier. It becomes better. Why? Now you're in control of what? Your blessings. How can we do that? It's right. Wanting, hope, and prayer don't mean a damn thing. Put good deeds in and you'll see the rewards come your way. When you're conscious of knowing God for yourself, now you know how to what? Earn your blessing by living right. Everything I try to teach, I want it to make sense. You got to be able to follow along and understand it for it to work. Right now, you can use it. You can put it to use. If you don't understand how to use it, you can't use it. You got a gun, don't know how to use it, you might not want to mess around. Again, knowledge is the same way. You need to understand it, and you got to use it. Hello? I carried guns for years. Didn't have to use it until situations arose. But I had it just in case. It was a lot better to what? Have it and don't need it. At the situation where I needed to need it. And I had it, so I took care of the situation. Again, get out of there. Back up. Stop. Again, I'm totally aware now of what? My higher conscious, my God self. And I work what? To appease my higher self. By what? Doing the right things and what? Earning blessings for my life. Things that, again, I need. That's a blessing. Not always money. Everybody just want money. Get a damn job. Sell drugs. Some women sell their body. Men, same thing. But if you just want money, those are things that you do. I'm not beat for that nonsense. Moving on. It's all spiritual with me. Why? Because we are spiritual beings. This is just a temporary situation for experience to what? Know thyself. Now that I know thyself, this experience for me is pretty much over. Why? When this is over, I'm good. That's why. How many people confident in themselves and their knowledge and understanding to say that? I could. You think you know? I don't think nothing. I know what I know. It ain't about my belief either. I feel this what desire to what? Worship my higher self, to impress him. Like my parents, my goal in life, not to be this, not to be that, but just to make my parents proud. Look at the circle. Yeah, I'm doing just that now. I know he's smiling. I know mom's telling me she proud of the man I become. So I'm on point with what I plan on doing since I was a kid. Didn't have big aspirations. Didn't need none. Why? I ain't beat for none of that. I'm a regular dude. Now, see, I love my mom. Why? She set the tone. She set the tone. So, yeah, I'm just like my mom. I thought I was like him. Yeah, bad. He was bad. Pure bad. All bad. Simple as that. And I was bad too. So I know what bad is. Now I'm a good guy. You can change. I did. If I can do it, I feel like, and as a Mason, when I met guys in Mason, oh, you want, oh, I can do that. Why? If you do it, I can do it too. I put my manhood up against anything. I'm competitive, thanks to him. I put this up against anybody's. I got mine. You got yours? Let's go. Okay. Football. I take my 11, and I can beat your 11. Why? I got 11 guys who know what they're doing, going to do it together and work hard to get it done, to beat you in life. That's always been my game plan. Let me wrap it up. Again, I appreciate you tuning in. This is my thing. The desire. Whoa. Okay, yeah. When you know thyself, when you get conscious, now you would have what? God knowledge. And you apply it to what? Your daily life, and the rewards are great. I tell you all the time. If you living right, you got nothing but good things happening in your life. Simple as that. Adversity comes to those who ain't living right. Shh, don't tell them. The desire to worship your higher self. Not to go to church, not to fellow, no, but to do right daily. So that's it. And your desire to what? Know thyself should be fulfilled by you. Wrapping it up, taking it home, and calm down. The self-knowledge gene is why we want to what? Know who we are, aka thyself. That's what drives you. That's what propels you. Belief, faith, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I tell you the power of belief. If you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, you won't. That's power. It's gonna go either way. Power is power. It don't care how you use it. That's why you can take this stuff and use it for your selfish gains and provide your own money and make everybody think you all that. But in the meantime, at Judgment Day, that's when you got to pay. I told my old man, you dance to the music, oh, you got to pay the piper. And he danced. Oh, yeah, he danced. He paid too. When I danced, I had to pay too. I didn't get a free dance because I was Bill's son. They didn't give a thing. You take these 5 years and let me know how you work out. But I'm just now in my life trying to help other people into what? Their ancestral worship of what? Their higher self. That's in us. It's passed down. All our ancestors, I get the concept, is inside us. They just keep rolling over. And my self-knowledge gene is the reason why, right thinking, why we ask ourselves, who am I? Why am I here? Those are questions that you should have an answer to for yourself. Don't ask nobody else. Ask yourself. He couldn't tell me why I'm here. Hell, him and my mother got together and that was the result. So he can't tell me why. He can tell me how. Yeah, I know that much. But why don't make a difference. You create that. Your self-knowledge gene, which leads you to worship a higher power, is the ritual that's going what? To church on Sunday and praying on Wednesday. But it's how you live every day. Those who do those things, those are the ones who make it worthwhile doing the ritual and the ceremony. That's why I go to church on Sunday, hang with religious people who follow the way I think it should be done. We have our 77th annual. My church been in 77 years in existence. It ain't been around long, but the people who built the church and my pastor's father and his mother sits in front row every week, knowing and feeling proud that her husband built this church. She's the elder of the church, so she's in a good place, and she's the nicest person you can ever meet. Those kind of people, you know them kind. Be grateful, love them, encourage them, stay with them. Why? Those are good ones. You don't get many of them, and they only come around once in a lifetime. Ain't another one of them. I call them my royal family. Religiously. Why? I don't do religion, but I see religious people who showing me the right way that it can be done. Oh, I respect that. Why? I've always saw it done the wrong way, and I didn't respect them. That's why I told them I ain't getting crap about Christians. You know, spare me. Any religion. Still haven't changed my perspective about that. Why? I see people still doing the things they're doing. So because I found people who entertain it and do it the way I like, that's fine. I'm good with that. I'm not looking for no more. I'm not looking, no, don't care. Whatever, no. My pastor, to me, is the best pastor. I don't care about how many other pastors got there, could care less. Well, I'm only dealing with this one. I'm comfortable. I'm satisfied. I went to Egypt. I never left. Okay. I went that dude to the end. My partner, ride or die, died in my arms. I don't leave. My flaw in my character is my loyalty. I'm not gonna bail on you. Okay, so I'm built that way. Let me wrap it up. And personally, my inner desire, that's what makes me want to know the truth for myself. And once I got it, I'm giving it to everybody. I'm giving it to anybody who will listen. I've been doing it ever since. That's my point. I'm about to wrap it up again. I personally have fulfilled my inner desire to what? My self-knowledge. And I followed it, and it got me to where I am now. Thank God for the self-knowledge gene. Why? I know thyself. And if you put yours to effect, you will too. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got to go. Time to hit the gym. But in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I never none of my right thinkers who understand that self-knowledge gene gets them to where they want to be have passed away. I'll be back.